RealAgriculture.com presents Farming Forward. Sharpen your soil health expertise with cover cropping, nitrogen management, and advanced grazing. Brought to you by the Farm Resilience Mentorship Program.
Hi, I'm Bernard Tobin and welcome to Farming Forward. Today I'm in Mildmay, Ontario with Gerard Grubb. We are going to check out his adaptive nitrogen trials. Gerard is going to share how he plans to use these trials to help dial in nitrogen rates on his farm and make his corn crop more profitable. Gerard, give us a snapshot of the operation. Tell us about the farm.
Okay, our farm, we started farming in 1980 when we originally bought the home farm. We were basically, since then, it has not been plowed at all. In about 2000, we moved into complete no-till on that farm. In about 2010, we moved up to strip-till off a 6-row corn planter into a 12-row planter, 12-row stripper, and that way we can put the nutrients, the starter, right directly into the ground and keeping the planter clean.
Tell us about the crop rotation.
So our crop rotation here, we're corn, soybean, wheat with red clover underseeded, and then in about late August we'll come back in with about 35 pounds of oats just blowing on top, and nothing worked in at all. The idea is we want to see a cover crop growing there, some biomass growing there, and then my goal is always 1st of November to take that out. That will give me the maximum nitrogen out of the red clover.
Tell me about how you, I guess, set nitrogen rates. So obviously you've got some red clover here, you've got some cover crops to work in it. I know you do some biosolids, and you work with Christine Brown, right?
Yes, we've worked with Christine for a number of years, a number of rotations in that, and it's working out good. We've started out with 300 pounds of starter on the strip till, and we've down that to 150 pounds of starter, which is giving us about 20 pounds of N in that strip. It's not a whole lot, but we really work with the biology of the soil.
Tell me about, I guess, fine-tuning your nitrogen strategy. You know, that level of 175 bushels, but you want to hit 250.
Yes, well, this land here will give us 250. This variety, 4290, will definitely run 250 without an issue. But it's to get, our goal here is to figure out where the highest profitable with the least N. So, that 175 with the biosolids and the starter, that's basically minimum of what we'll be up against.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this trial behind you here. Now, these are adaptive nitrogen trials, part of the farm program. What are you hoping to learn here?
Well, it basically is where the top of that curve is, and we had a 0, a 10-gallon rate, and a 20-gallon rate, which is 30 pounds extra and 60 pounds extra of N. Now the 60 pounds with what we feel is in the starter and the biosolids brings us up to about 0.7 pounds of nitrogen for the 250 bushel of corn.
Tell me about how the trial is configured, Gerard. I mean, obviously, what are the size of the strips?
So the size of the strip is a double planter, the full length of the field, which works out to be 60 feet wide, roughly. I think it works out to be 2 acres in size. And the replication, so it's replicated 4 times across the field. So it's just random replication, 60 pounds extra, 30 pounds extra, 0 pounds extra. And when we planted it, those are just random compared to when I do a plot like this. It's always easiest if I make the variety in the field is all DeKalb 4290, but every strip is labeled a different variety number. So when the combine spits it out at the end of the year, I can see exactly which strip does, how many pounds off of that, and bring it back, and then we'll take that into climate view and try and follow that through the fall and that. So that's my approach on setting up a plot. Make it replicated so it's a useful plot for us.
Let's have a look at these plots, these trials. I've got my drone here. We're going to fly around and see what they look over top. But let's get inside here. We walked in, and you've got, as I say, you've got a 0, you've got 30 pounds and 60 pounds. What are you seeing?
Well, you can see we're down in here between the 0 and the 30, and you can definitely see the 0 starting to fire up. And the 30 pound it's still a little bit from firing up, but I think that it's going to start to fire up in a bit too. Yeah. I don't think it's going to give me that 250 bushel that I was hoping for.
What about the 60 now? We took a trip over and looked at the 60. What'd you see there?
Okay, so between the 0 and the 60, the 0 is definitely firing up. The stalks are a whole lot lighter green. And just look at this 60 pound rate over here. It's the stalk is right green from bottom to top. It's a nice, healthy looking. I think even the cobs are going to come. We're going to have to check the cobs here now.
Yeah, let's pull a cob. I'm seeing, even at this stage, you can see some differences here, Gerard. You've counted some kernels, you've counted some rows. Obviously there's a deeper look maybe on the 60. What are you seeing?
Well, I'm seeing, I think the rows we can come up with equal rows along the thing, but I think it's the length of the stalk and the actual, let's go with kernel weight, is smaller on the 0 rate. And I think I'm going to say it's probably 2 or 4 kernels shorter than the 60 pound rate. So yes, there's a definite distinction between this row and that row.
Okay, Gerard, we're a little ways from the combine rolling through this field, but I think you're seeing some stuff here. From a perspective on your nitrogen, are you happy what you're seeing? Are you learning what you expected?
I think it's coming back exactly what I was expecting. For some reason, well, I'm not 175 bushels doesn't cut it here. The profitability on 250 for that extra thing, and it's a peace of mind in knowing that I'm just not dumping nitrogen away. But in actual fact, I think it's going to prove that, and it's important to prove to me that I need to how much nitrogen I need to be putting on these fields. Like I could put another 40 pounds on, but that's another $40 worth that I don't think there's a payback on.
Yeah. Gerard, final thought, and that is, nitrogen from the perspective of it being one of the inputs. You talked about, managing credits, managing your cover crops, understanding what the inputs are in this field. Tell me about that big picture for you, and again, nitrogen being a big part of the profitability.
Well, nitrogen is a big part of the profitability, but you've got to have soil fertility back. We've got to start with soil fertility, and when we purchased this chunk of land, it was like 5 ppm for phosphorus and 50 for potassium. Well, it's hard to grow 250 bushel crop on that. So we've focused on here how many years now on bringing those up. I think we've got it up to 10 with the biosolids bringing on a little extra every year. And, last fall we put 700 pounds to the acre of potash, and the year before that 700 pounds. So I'm hoping that we're above that 100. Because if you don't have soil fertility, this nitrogen doesn't work at all. Or the profitability of putting that extra 60 pounds of nitrogen just goes out the window. So we're really focusing on that fertility in the strip, getting the corn off to a right start.
If you enjoyed this video and want to continue to sharpen your soil health expertise, encourage you to go to farmlearninghub.ca to learn more.